Thank you. You should come and sit in the front row.
Hey, Frankie, still got those tokens? This guy right here gets 10 tokens, right? Hey, you should ask a question.
I'm gonna ask you a question. There's one thing you want to learn in the next 25 minutes. What is it?
Well, I'm very new to all of that.
Very new to it. Okay. Fantastic. Where do you sit? What's your role?
IT architect.
IT architect. Perfect. All right. So, as of right now, you are the most important person in the audience. So we're gonna try to focus this just for you. That's part of it. You got to show up, right? So you show up. So we're gonna do this. And one of the things I say is, when you come to my house for dinner, if you leave hungry, that's your fault. So here right now, you got us, most important person. So any questions that you have, if you don't ask, that's your fault. We're here to help. How does that sound? All right, I can do that.
Okay. Should we introduce ourselves for folks on the?
Are we going?
Are we live?
Are we live? Oh, we're not live yet. We're not live yet.
We are live? Okay, yeah. Okay.
We are. We're all set.
Okay. All right.
We're all set. All right. Well, hey.
Hey.
Welcome, everybody. Those in attendance and those worldwide, thank you so much for being here. My name is DaShaun. I'm a Spring Developer Advocate. This is my good friend, my colleague, Nick.
Hey, I'm Nick Kuhn. I do product marketing engineering for VMware Tanzu. And we're going to be talking about how Spring AI loves GenAI.
It does.
Tanzu Platform, right?
Spring AI, a nice abstraction over your LLMs, SLMs. It's an amazing, cool product. Loves to run on Tanzu because it gives us some really cool functionality. As a developer that's delivering these apps, I don't have to think. I get a lot of the work that's done. We get a new LLM every week, every other week. There's always, there's some new thing. And also, I would like to make sure that I'm using the right LLM for my workload.
Right.
And Tanzu Platform makes that really easy for me. So, Spring AI does love GenAI on Tanzu Platform.
Very much. We'll just do a quick overview here. We'll have to cover our disclaimer slide. Yes, our disclaimer slide. We'll be covering some beta products. Just a heads up there. We have a great slide.
This is true. 100% true.
Yes. So we kind of set the stage already on that, but we'll do one more brief. When we say Tanzu, for those watching or whatever, Tanzu is just more than what we call Kubernetes, right? We have Spring. We're the stewards of Spring.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Right?
Yep.
Spring AI. So Spring's what, the largest Java framework in the world?
Number one.
Number one.
Number one.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know if there is a number two.
Yeah. Okay. We have data services. We have an application catalog. Yep. We have cloud health. Multiple application runtimes. So a lot more.
You know what else?
Kubernetes.
You know what else Tanzu has? Tanzu has expertise, practitioners that are willing to help out you and your organization. So yes, the whole gamut. Like, we're there.
Yeah.
We know how to do some things.
Tanzu Labs.
Yes.
Spring.
Yes. Spring Consulting.
Spring Consulting.
The
exactly. Yes.
Right? You might know some of them.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, Tanzu is just a lot more than just Kubernetes. But we kind of framed this talk here, right? So, and this is a short version of our long version talk tomorrow.
Yeah, you'll have to come in and check out
tomorrow. Just a teaser, right? But I know I'll talk to a lot of customers, and I bet you've talked to a lot of customers.
I talked to a lot of customers.
So you're kind of getting the story of, so your boss told you to build something with AI.
Yes.
Make some AI stuff, right?
That's it.
Right.
Like the angle is your company probably has a bunch of data that they've been storing or capturing along the way, and they would like to do something with that data. They would like to be able to use that data to improve their product, their bottom line, something. They want to use it. They know they have the data, and they know that the capabilities exist, but they just don't know how to connect those two. And we hear a lot of that, right?
Exactly. And then this is where, from the development side,
we have Spring AI.
Yeah, how does Spring AI help help you, the developer?
That's a great question. First of all, Spring is a framework that provides these beautiful abstractions across many things. If you've ever used a database before, a MySQL or Oracle or a Redis, there's a comfort level of having that Spring data abstraction that allows me to switch from MySQL to Redis and have a comfort level because the abstraction is there. I'm not talking to MySQL directly. I'm not having to use MySQL protocols drivers directly. I have these Spring Boot starters. I have Spring Data that allows me to do most of the things with many of the databases that are available, easily. There's a comfort level. Spring AI does that same thing for LLMs. So whether I want to use OpenAI or Bedrock or Claude, Spring AI gives me that abstraction that allows me to leverage the different models that are available easily with comfort, right? Without having to change code. I can do that.
All right, very cool. So you want to see how you can do some of that stuff, or anything else you wanted to cover before you jump?
Let's set the stage.
Okay.
I'm going to add a little bit more color there.
Okay.
I've talked to a few customers where they're like, hey, we know that AI is out there. I'm not sure if I get to do that as part of my role, but I'm also a little bit nervous about what my role is going to look like in 6 months or 12 months because of AI. Customers say that they don't want to miss out.
Right.
There's maybe it's culture in their organization where they don't have access. They can't reach out to OpenAI or whatever. And some orgs, they're bringing it in-house. They're saying, hey, we're not going to call out to the third party because we've heard stories of pizza things or business meetings being captured.
Right.
So there's some concern. Some companies are moving forward and they're making it available. They're trying to move forward and leverage these technologies, and some aren't quite there yet, and they need a little help. So one of the things that I'm running into a lot is I really don't like to train other people's models with my data. So I try to keep things local. And Tanzu Platform is one way of doing that, so that I don't have to, again, worry about training somebody else's data or training somebody else's model. I can keep things a little bit more secure. I can have a little bit more confidence on what I'm doing. So that's where we're at today.
Okay, and then we're going to jump into the Tanzu Platform here really quickly, give a brief overview of what we're kind of talking about, how we can wire, how we have devs like DaShaun wire into the platform and have all that safe and private experience here. So with the GenAI and Tanzu Platform, you can easily deploy models from your platform engineering hat. You wire this up as a new tile in your Tanzu Platform for Cloud Foundry deployment. Models can be deployed on OLAM or VLM. We saw a lot of cool things about NVIDIA, the VMware Private AI Foundation. We can wire up directly to that as well. So they're doing a lot of advancements, like they announced the model store and some of these other inference engines this morning. There's nothing stopping us from brokering to that and providing those models directly into the Tanzu Platform as well, and we're excited to work with them further on that integration. And then we also have things like you mentioned small language models, right?
Yep.
So we a lot of the customers we talk to don't quite have GPUs yet, but it's like this chicken and the egg problem.
Yes.
How do you justify the spend?
Yeah.
With how do you? It's like how do we justify that spend without testing it?
Yep.
But you can't really test it.
So let's address that.
Right?
So one of the things that Spring AI does, it allows you to consume from the public cloud models, but you can also run it locally. And if you don't have a GPU, the CPU will work. I'm telling you, personal experience. I'm happy to show you. You can run a lot of the models that are publicly available. You can run them on a device even as small as a Raspberry Pi. So you can run these models. It might take you 20, 30, 40 seconds to get a response, but you can run it. There's the barrier to entry. If you've got anything more than a Raspberry Pi, that response time is going to be smaller. So the barrier to entry, because of things like Spring AI and the publicly available models, you can start doing this. You might not be able to do it at work on your work network, but you can definitely do it on your laptop at home. Spring AI makes that easy. Right. But that is a big part of being able to get through. How do I validate? How do I not miss the boat? Take it for a spin. Use it. Try it.
Yeah, and then we'll go into some of the architecture here, and then we'll get into a demo. But what we're looking at here with, and sorry, I can't do full screens. My dongle is not quite cooperating with me today.
It's all right.
But in the overall architecture, like we'll take DaShaun Spring apps and that are powered by Spring AI, deploy them on the platform on that left-hand side. But then if we want to kind of deep dive into what the tile is doing, so we're running this GenAI proxy service. That's actually going to be called Tanzu AI server here soon. I think we have some announcements coming out today about that. But then we can then instantiate multiple worker nodes that maybe run VLM, OLAMA. OLAMA is really great for running CPU workloads as well. And then we can wire into like Postgres, our Postgres tile to do the retrieval augmented generation embeddings. store that as well in that easily, click button style. Give me a database.
So let's pause right there.
Yeah.
I like to say that I don't have cloud money. I have Raspberry Pi money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So locally, when I'm doing my work, I'm going to go ahead and use Spring AI. I'm going to connect to my Raspberry Pi. I'm going to do things locally. But development teams, they can still do development against their laptop, and they can move. But now, when you want to do it at scale, you want to take it and make it production ready, enterprise grade. I'm going to add a GPU.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that we have to do here is I don't have to buy a GPU for every one of my developers or every one of my workloads. I can deploy GPUs to my Tanzu platform,
Mm-hmm.
and I can share them across these workloads.
Exactly.
So this is awesome. So for companies that are looking at, hey, can we even afford to move forward
Mm-hmm.
with AI? This is a great route. So I'll let you go on and I'll continue. Like the idea, some of these workloads, you can do these things, but if you're sending it up to the cloud, you have a lot of other things to consider. The amount of data that you're transferring. If we're doing image processing, that's one thing, but everything is also tokens based, right? The number of words that you're processing and the number of words that are being returned in these generative AI workloads, that's money, that's cost. If you're doing it inside of your data center with your own GPUs, that cost is a fraction of what it would be to run in the cloud.
Yeah.
Here we are.
It'd be a fixed capitalized cost versus paying per word almost.
See,
right?
You're using all those big words.
Yeah.
Yes, but this is true.
Yes. And then one more slide here before we get into the fun stuff. So, and then just to represent, we could swap out our Bosch deployed models, our platform deployed models, wire up directly into VMware Private AI. You can use the NVIDIA NIM inference servers as well. And if you are lucky enough to have these, a VMware Private AI foundation with these, monster GPUs that people are fighting for, we're more than happy to help work with you. And I would love to get my hands on some of those GPUs in general. So
yes,
whatever way you want to run them, we can happily support that. Now, do you want to get into some code, some apps?
Yeah, let's go. This is cool.
Yes,
so
yes.
In the hallway yesterday, ran into a friend, Johan, who was using Spring AI even against Jets and Nanos. Like, we have opportunities to run these models all over the place. I'm a big fan of running things on the edge, right? Put the models, put the work where it needs to be. This is fun.
I'm just doing some prepping here.
All right, let's do some prep.
So we have our manifest, and this is a Spring app, right?
Yeah.
And we need to provide some services before we push.
Yep.
Can I show you how easy it's to use really quick?
Fantastic.
Right. So I'm gonna do some copy and pasting here.
If I put my developer hat on, I don't really want to think about infrastructure a whole lot.
Yeah.
I just want to say, hey, I need a database. Give me a database.
Right. So
Right.
Look, it's there.
Fantastic. So I got a database. Create succeeded. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we pre-plumbed this just for the sake of time here. We went in and created this in the marketplace. But if I'm DaShaun here, I have a marketplace. I'm already provisioned in the Tanzu platform. I can just say, hey, what else can what else do you want?
This is cool,
right?
So this is again one of the cool features of Tanzu Platform for Cloud Foundry is you have a marketplace. These are the things that are on the menu. So as a developer, you're looking to build something. You have a menu. These are the tools that you can use. Before you start, you've got to make some decisions. And usually it's a good idea, whether you're using Tanzu Platform or not. Know what's on the menu, because those are the things that are supported, and you're going to be able to go to production with them. So this brings us back to the AI. Like if you don't have any LLMs on the menu, probably you don't want to start doing development with it. But if your organization is delivering these models as a part of their platform, it's on the menu, it's supported, and you can build your workloads and take them to production.
So let's go ahead and do that. So in here we have all these service plans. These represent different models that DaShaun has available to use for him. So
yeah.
I'm gonna on the clicking behalf, I'm gonna go ahead and click Llama 3.1 for him. We'll go select plan, and we're gonna give it a name, Spring Metal Chat. So like the Spring Metal app, it needs two models, right? It needs a chat model and an embedding model.
Yes.
Right. So we're gonna deploy those really quickly.
So these are my backing services. I've got a database. Now I've got the LLM, but I don't just want to consume the LLM. Sometimes I want to take my data, the data that runs my business. I want to feed that. A lot of questions come up. They're like, how do I train these models? How do I train the model on my data? And my answer is this: don't. These LLMs are powerful. They provide a lot of great use cases, and they are trained on tons of data. But everybody says, hey, how do I train it on my data? Well, the best way to do that without training it is to use retrieval augmented generation. You've probably a few times at the conference so far where we can say, hey, I want to take our existing data and I want to put it into a format where I can feed it into the LLM and let the LLM use that as a part of its answer, right? As well as generating its answer. So that's what we're doing. We're going to build a vector store to store those embeddings. Those embeddings can take whatever data is in your database tables, your streams, whatever. We can take all that data and we can convert it into a vector store. The vector store is just a smaller way. It's just numbers, floats that we're storing that we can use in a small footprint to help generate answers with our LLM.
Yeah, and so I kicked off, a push behind you here just to get this app going.
So I've got my Spring AI app.
Yeah. We got the services
I've been messing with it locally,
Mm-hmm.
right? I had Spring AI, I had Docker Compose, I can do all those things. But now it's time to go to production. I'm saying, hey, Nick, I was using Llama 3 and I was using these embeddings. Can you do that for me? I'm going to store those embeddings in my Postgres database, right?
Yep.
Let's go.
All right.
So as a developer, this is another reason I really love Tanzu Platform. I don't have to think about the infrastructure. I know what's on the menu, so I know what I can choose from. I can run all that stuff locally, and we can go.
Yeah, and we're just taking this DaShaun's code here and just pushing it up to the platform. And
Build packs. How many people have heard of build packs? Yeah, are you using build packs? Because friends don't let friends use Dockerfile, right? Build packs are doing all the things that I need in order to deliver a image to my platform, to production. And it takes care. It has all of those best practices built in. Like for our Spring workloads, our Java workloads, it knows how to calculate memory size, but it's also secured and maintained. The alternative is Docker files or other, where you're copying and pasting and, oh yeah, we've got our base image, but if that base image has a problem, then you got to repave all of, not just your infrastructure, all the containers. And a lot of times we're running way more containers than we are hosts, nodes, or VMs, right?
Okay, so that pushed here. Now we get to the fun part here. So let's go back to our app. We have Spring Metal Explorer. It's been pushed.
So our build pack took our code, delivered an image that we can run in the cloud.
And we can see here, so it's our Spring Boot app. We can get like actuator info. That's pretty cool, right?
I'm a big fan of the actuators, and I also love that Tanzu Platform realizes and it consumes the data that comes off of those actuators automatically.
Yeah, and we get some threads, heap dumps.
Yeah.
Right from the platform. So got some special Spring sauce for you.
We have special sauce.
Right.
This is another reason. Spring loves Tanzu, but Tanzu also loves Spring.
Exactly. And then now you want to get to the app? We're going to play around.
Let's go see. What is this app?
Yeah,
we took some data. We had some cool stuff. Just sitting in regular tables. Like, it doesn't matter. I can take all sorts of tables, books, documentation. One of the things I've been saying a lot is that now in this age of AI, the documentation that you're taking to production matters more than ever, because if it's not your internal workloads that are consuming that, some other third party, right, is training their data on the stuff that you make public. So your documentation is more important than ever. But we can consume all sorts of data, and we can use that data in this retrieval augmented generation workflow to feed into an LLM. And we can actually, because of Tanzu Platform, we can actually switch out those LLMs, and we can find the LLM that gives the responses that best fit our workload. So we chose Llama 3, which is fairly recent, 3.1.
Yeah,
so it's like 3 weeks old, which kind of means like it's ancient.
Yeah.
And yeah, we expect a new leader any day now.
Yeah.
But here's what we're gonna do. Let's go. It says, hey, Boneyard, let's do it. What is my favorite album?
And it should not know.
Right? Yeah, I
don't know. Maybe it's been trained on you. I don't know.
It has not.
Yeah. All right. So
Okay.
Like as expected, right?
The LM doesn't know who I am. That's okay. That's okay. I'm new here.
You'll get over it.
Yeah. Okay.
But now, when we add an album, we can say, what do you want to call the album? What's your favorite album?
Explore Greatest Hits.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, I got to type.
Volume 1.
Yes. Oh, Volume 1.
Yep.
Volume
1. So what we're doing now, we're adding another album to our database. Fantastic.
All right. Who do we, artist? Metallica? You want to do a heavy metal? Or you want to do VMware Tanzu?
Yeah, Hammer Tanzu sounds good.
VMware Tanzu?
Yep.
All right, and then let's do 2024
Yep.
genre. DevOps, podcast, DevOps.
Yep.
All right, let's write a new review here. DaShaun.
Absolutely DaShaun's favorite album.
What's your favorite album? Right, DaShaun's.
Yep.
This is DaShaun's favorite album.
So again, all we're saying is we've got data in our database. We're showing the example. Hey, it didn't exist in the database, so the LLM had no idea. So now we're putting some data into our own tables, and we're saying, hey, LLM, now, which one is DaShaun's favorite album?
All right, so we have Explore Greatest Hits Volume 1. Let's everything that data should be there. Let's give it a go.
And what's happening in the background with Spring AI is we're taking that vector database, and we're sending that along with a request.
Mm-hmm.
So that the LLM can say, oh, I see I've got some additional information.
Yeah. So this is we're using Llama 3.1, and it's a little strict on prompting. So it will. This always yells at me no matter what I say, but then it will give you the actual answer here. So DaShaun gave a perfect score of 100 to Explore Greatest Hits Volume 1 by VMware Tanzu. But it likes to argue with you. So maybe we need to roll back to Llama 3.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Argument.
The hallucination of the perfect score of 100.
Yeah. No, that's there. That's there.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Like the context, the prompts that we're providing, how Spring AI makes it easy to send this information back to the LLM. All these are cool topics. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to see how easy it can be to take your existing tables, turn them into embeddings that you can use with your own LLMs, I think you're going to want to check out our show tomorrow.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, so
right.
we're going to do a very much expanded version of this presentation tomorrow and a full breakout session. So if you want to learn more about how you can
it's going to be good.
Dive into Spring AI.
It's going to be good. So with that, we're going to have, is there any questions in the audience?
Yeah, we have
any questions that we didn't cover? We'll see you tomorrow then.
Yeah.
And guess what? We'll be here all week. Yeah. So you have questions, we didn't answer it here. Remember, if you come to my house for dinner and you leave hungry, that's your fault, okay? All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.